Hello everybody and welcome back to another Marvel Crisis Protocol character reveal. And today they have shown off Silver Sable. Really excited about this character and just the box that she's coming with in general. Looking like a lot of great things for defenders, and until now I don't think we knew anything about Silver Sable's card, so really excited that they chose to do the Silver Sable reveal first instead of Shang-Chi, where we've already seen most of the things to do with Shang-Chi. So we're getting some new stuff today, which is really exciting. So here we have just another picture of the model. It is a really nice model. I'm excited to paint this up for myself. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get right into the stats and things like that. So here we have the front side of Silver Sable's card. She's coming in with 3/3/3 defensively. She's a 4 threat. She's got 5 health on the front side, is a size 2, and is a medium mover. So nothing too crazy there, if anything a little low on the defensive side. But we're going to go ahead and get into her attacks here. So she has 2 different attacks. The first one is a gainer attack. She's going to gain 1 power for using this attack. It's a 0 cost 5 dice range 5, so very long range physical attack called Tactical Takedown. This has 2 different triggers to it. The first one is a crit trigger for Tranquilized. After this attack is resolved, the target character gains the Root special condition. Very powerful condition to be handing out on a gainer attack. So that's really nice. And then next, the Crit Wild Bringing You In. After this attack is resolved, this character may push the target character towards this character small. So not great odds on that trigger being a Crit Wild. That's 2 symbols, that there's only one side of the die for each. So not going to happen super often, but a very powerful trigger. No size limit on that push or anything. Yeah, that's a really strong trigger. You can do some rude things with that if you get that early game or even late game. So very powerful. Pretty solid attack overall. Of course, it is a gainer, so it seems like she's going to be a little limited in how much power she's playing around with. Next, we have Headshot. This is her spender attack. It's a 3 cost spender, so on the cheaper side, but it is only 6 dice. It's a range 5, and it says if the target character is not within range 3 and does not benefit from cover, if this attack would deal damage, increase the amount dealt by 2. That is crazy. So while it's only 6 dice and you're probably not expecting much damage on it from the dice, flat increase the amount of damage by 2 if you deal damage and they don't have cover. So there's some conditions there. Your opponent can play around this. Still, that's really good. Definitely a powerful attack. Of course, you still need to do 1 damage. You can still completely whiff the roll, but really solid and really good for trying to hit models that have things like damage reductions and things like this that will just kind of cancel out and then still add 1 for you. So that's really good there. Next, it also has Concussion. This is a crit trigger. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains a stun. So lots of crit triggers on this character, which is interesting. We don't see those too often, but very solid condition to be handing out. Mind you, you're doing a minimum of 3 damage if you did any damage with this attack. So your stun is a little less valuable at that point because it is after the attack. So they've already gained, for most models, about half of their health worth of power already. But still, not a bad condition to be handing out, and it can kind of make up for if you whiff the shot a little bit. Well, at least you got the stun sort of thing. So, not a bad attack at all. Actually, a really interesting spender, and I look forward to seeing how this plays on the field and how it's going to change how your opponent has to position around Silver Sable to make sure that Silver Sable isn't getting that headshot bonus damage, because that can hit really hard. Next, Silver Sable here has Shot Caller. This is an active superpower. This is a 3 cost, and it says choose another allied character within range 4 and advance it small. Then the chosen character gains 1 power. A character can be affected by the superpower only once per turn. That's really good. It's a little expensive considering her slower power generation and the fact that it costs the same amount as her spender, but still, being able to advance an ally small and give them a power is really nice. So yeah, that's a very solid ability. A character can only be affected once per turn, but that doesn't mean the superpower is once per turn. If you have 9 power, you can move 3 different models, so that's really good. cannot use it on herself. It does specify another allied character, so you can't kind of effectively treat it as a 2 cost as long as you have the 3 to just advance yourself small. So that is one thing you'll have to consider with this thing, that it is definitely a support ability, not something that she will use to be able to get herself into position, but still really, really good power. Super useful, very versatile, and moving characters out of activation is really, really good. So definitely a powerful ability there. Want My Help Pay Up is her next superpower here. This is a reactive 0 cost when an allied character within 4 of this character makes an attack. During the pay power cost step of the attack, this character may use this superpower. The allied character loses 2 power. If it does, this character gains 1 power, and the allied character adds 1 die to its attack roll. This superpower can be used only once per turn. So this is going to be an interesting one. First of all, it doesn't specify what type of attack, so they can do that on a attack that has a cost of 0. They can just pay 2 power to add 1 die and give Silver Sable a power. That's going to help with her power generation, going to help her have Shot Caller and Headshot online a little bit more often, so that's really, really good. Yeah, this is a solid ability to have. Being able to add dice to attack rolls is fantastic. There are some models that are really, really going to appreciate that sort of thing. So that immediately kind of gives her a home in certain lists and places where she might be really, really good. So yeah, that's quite solid. Next, we have Sniper's Nest here. When this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack, if this character is overlapping a terrain feature of size 3 or more, and the attacking character is not overlapping the same terrain feature, this character adds 2 dice to its defense roll. So basically, if you're perched on a building or a large vehicle or something like that, you'll have extra dice against physical and energy attacks unless your opponent is on the same one. That's really, really nice. That also doesn't care about the range to cover things. So even if they're ignoring your cover, if they're not on the same piece of terrain, they are not getting rid of those extra 2 dice. So that is a really solid defensive ability, making her, if you can position her well, effectively a 5/5/3 against many, many targets. So yeah, that's a really solid piece of defensive tech. Still not enough for me to say she's, bulky or a particularly defensive model, but will definitely help keep her alive a little longer than she otherwise would be. And then the last thing on her card here is Wall Crawler. That's going to help her get around. That's going to help her be on top of those large buildings. That she's going to want to take advantage of for Sniper's Nest. So yeah, that's a solid thing to have in her kit here. Scrolling down, we also see the flip side of her card, and as far as I can tell, nothing changes here except the health. She does go up to 6 health on the flip side, which is definitely nice. Having 5 on the front is definitely on the light side for a 4 threat, so going up to 6 is good to have. Still definitely not on the bulky side, but something that'll help keep her alive a little bit longer, hopefully. So yeah, really, really solid there. And overall, I think she seems like a really solid model so far. She's got some great triggers on the attacks there, although not the highest odds triggers in the world. Headshot is a really cool attack. Sniper Nest is a really cool mechanic, and I don't think we've seen that kind of templating before for overlapping terrain features, so that's really interesting, and I hope we see more things like that in the future. And yeah, oh, I just realized Protect the Asset actually does change, because that was Want My Help Pay Up before, so that's actually a different superpower. So she loses Want My Help Pay Up and gains Protect the Asset here, and I totally missed that before. So this is a 2-cost reactive. When an enemy character within range 4 of this character targets an allied character with an attack, if the allied character is holding an asset or civilian token, this character may use this superpower. After the attack is resolved, this character makes a tactical takedown attack targeting the attacking character. The superpower can only be used once per turn. So that's really, really interesting. So she loses the ability to add dice to your allies' attacks, but now she has a crackback when your allies are attacked within range 4 of or when the enemy character is within range 4 of her. Really, really interesting. That's a really good ability. I love abilities like that. The recently released Gwenom has a very similar ability to that, and I absolutely love it there. So similar deal here. I think that's a fantastic ability. Does specify the allied character has to be holding an asset or civilian token, but a lot of the times those are the ones you want to keep alive the most. So it's great to have that extra deterrent, making it harder for your opponent to want to go in on those characters. So yeah, that's a really solid ability. It only costs 2, so it's quite reasonable. and it is your gainer attack, so you will be gaining one back after doing that anyways. So as long as you have the two, it effectively only costs you one, which is really, really nice. You get some damage, you might even get some cool triggers on there. It's a fantastic ability to have, yeah. Bit of a shame she doesn't have that also on the front side, but still, those are really good abilities either way, and definitely a cool way to kind of see her role change as the game goes on. So yeah, that's a really neat ability for her to have there. Next, they did also reveal some tactics cards here. So this is really exciting. I'm going to zoom in on these a little bit, see if you guys can get a better view of them. So we have 3 tactics cards revealed, and the text around this very, very, very strongly implies that she is going to be a Defenders affiliated character. So at this point, I think we're almost confirmed that she will be, which is great to see. The 3 tactics cards we have coming in here, 2 of them are Defenders, and 1 of them is unaffiliated but for Silver Sable. We'll go ahead and start it with Silver Sable's card here. This is Sable International. It is an unaffiliated active card. During her activation, Silver Sable may spend 4 power to play this card. This round, each time Silver Sable dazes or KOs an enemy character, you score 1 VP. So this is kind of similar to Punisher's card. As a matter of fact, it might be the exact same as Punisher's card. I'm not 100% sure. I would have to double check that card. But that's a very solid card. Being able to, especially with something like Headshot, to help you secure kills on characters that have 2 or 3 remaining health. Very, very nice. Very powerful card, being able to score victory points out of sequence, obviously. Play it during your activation, so you don't even have to call it at the start of the round that it's going to happen. Of course, you do have to play the card before Silver Sable does her attacks to kill things, because otherwise the card isn't in effect when you do the thing. It's not a reactive on that, so you do have to kind of call your shot, but still really, really solid effect. I think that immediately gives her some play in places maybe like Black Order, where I've seen Punisher played before, and now suddenly she's a half decent 4-threat splash into Black Order as well, whereas Punisher being a 3-threat. So you kind of have some options there if you want the same type of role. So very, very interesting there. Definitely a card that helps with her splash ability. Definitely a very strong card in my opinion. So yeah, great card for Sable there. The next 2 cards are both Defenders Tactics cards. The first one we have here is Cover Me. This is a reactive Defenders card. During the power phase, an allied Defenders character may spend 4 power to play this card. This round, after an attack targeting this character is resolved, another allied character may make an attack targeting the attacking enemy character. I love it. This is going to stack really, really nicely with that ability we were just talking about, Protect the Asset. So you can have, they're going to punch into your characters, whether they take them down or not. You're going to have a Protect the Asset coming back at them. And then you play Cover Me. You could make Silver Sable herself make that attack if you want. You could have somebody else make that attack. It doesn't specify that it has to be a cost of 0, so you can do a spender off of this. You can do something that has crazy triggers like flurries or anything like that. Valkyrie will be a great model to play this card. You crack pack with a spender that has a flurry on it, get your flurry trigger, hit something else as well. Really interesting options for that. Daredevil, he can do some interesting things with this. You can spender off of this. Really, really interesting things you can do with a card like this. Love to see it. Definitely making Defenders a very interesting affiliation to play with all these cards that they're getting. So absolutely love Cover Me. I think that's a really cool card, and I'm definitely going to be playing it when I pick up Defenders again. So really excited about that one. And the last card they revealed here is Street Smarts. This one is another Defender's reactive card, so we're seeing a few of those during the power phase. So, okay, not quite as reactive, but still. During the power phase, any number of allied Defender's characters may each spend 1 power to play this card. This round, while a character that played this card is holding or contesting an objective token, if it would be pushed, advanced, or thrown, it may suffer 1 damage. If it does, it is not pushed, advanced, or thrown. This is just a very good card. The fact that it prevents things like advances as well is really, really nice. A lot of the things that get around cards like Indomitable won't be able to get around this, so that's really, really nice. Doesn't stop them from being placed, so you do have to keep that in mind if your opponent's running things that will actually place you. Something like a Thanos with a Cosmic Portal, or Doctor Strange 2 with his Scalpel of Strange. Those will still get around this card, but it is a really, really nice ability to have. And if you don't want to take the 1 damage, you can just choose not to. So yeah, that's really, really solid. You can kind of decide whether you would prefer the damage or the throw, and anything that gives you that sort of option is really nice to have. So yeah, this is just a good thing. This is a very solid card. It only costs 1 power per character to play it. A lot of the defender's characters will really appreciate this because there's a pretty decent amount of them that don't have the best mobility in the world, or rather they don't have action compression to be able to both move and attack. I'm thinking even stuff like Daredevil himself. If you're running him as the leader, yes, he's a long mover, so he can get around the board very quickly, but that's one less attack he's making every time he has to do a move action. So if you can keep him in one spot, it can definitely be worth it. Now, of course, taking damage on him is something that could be potentially be its own problem, but still, really, really nice to have that option. And I definitely think this is a very solid card on the right scenarios. Yeah, this is going to be a very solid card for defenders, I think. But yeah, so I believe that is everything that they showed off today here. Just kind of scrolling through quickly, there's nothing else new here. Obviously they talk about what all of the abilities do and what the cards do, and it's kind of here where they very, very, very strongly imply that Silver Sable will be able to play these defender cards. So that's obviously really good for Silver Sable. Um, but yeah, this is really exciting. Silver Sable is looking like a really fun model in my opinion. These cards look amazing. I am so excited to play defenders that when they have actual cards, that's going to be really, really exciting. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that is all we have for today. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited for Silver Sable? I know we've already kind of seen Shang-Chi revealed a while ago, so now we've seen most, if not everything, that's going to be in this box. I don't think we've seen the flip side of Shang-Chi's card yet, so we're still waiting on that, but at the end of the day, that's most likely going to be very, very similar to the side that we have seen of his card. So how are you guys feeling on the box? Are you guys excited? Or are you guys kind of a little disappointed? Personally, I'm really excited for this one. I think this is going to be a great box for the Defenders affiliation, and I'm very excited to get these guys on the table. So I'm looking forward to them. But curious to know what you guys think. How are you guys feeling about the tactics cards and what this does for Defenders as a team? Personally, for the longest time, I've been saying I think one of the biggest things they're missing is a good set of cards. So I think this is going to be huge for them. I think this is going to be really, really big for putting them into the, kind of active meta of the game. Not that they're not being played right now, because they are really fun and I am seeing them played a fair bit, but I think this is going to be something that can push them, maybe even near the top. So that's going to be really, really cool to see, and I'm definitely excited for it. So let me know what you guys think down below, but that is going to do it for this reveal video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We do stuff like this whenever new characters are revealed, and we also do things like character spotlights on Wednesdays and battle reports on the weekends. So if you like any of those things, feel free to jump on in. But that's going to be all for today. So until next time, everybody, have a great day. Peace.